it's Terry here. Welcome back to A Simpler Life with me and Mr. Jerry and our two kitties, Simba and Nala. So, oh, there's something on the screen there. This is going to drive me crazy. Anywho, so how are you? So, today has just been kind of a laid back day, I want to say, but not really. It was bread making day so I got the bread done. We usually leave the bread alone. We have not had any problems with touching the bread because when I make it once a week, you just get used to it. It's like going to buy it at the store. Well, today Mr. Jerry decided that he was going to cut off a slice while it was still warm. And then he pulled out his freezer jam, strawberry freezer jam. And then he put some butter on it with the strawberry freezer jam. And I came out and I made myself a half of a turkey sandwich with a handful of chips. And only ate half of the sandwich because it just didn't taste good. Not good, but it wasn't what I wanted. And I said to him, I says, "Oh, I think we got rats." He goes, "Yeah." He says, I noticed that too. I said, "So how was it, Mr. Rat?" And he says, "It's very good." He usually doesn't take what we call the butt end of it, but he did this time, so I took the other butt end because I always claim that first. And so I had the same thing he did, so I know bad, but you gotta enjoy life sometimes. And so today, all we've done is our kitchen is still tore up. Our son and his family came over. His wife came over on Saturday with grandkids. Our son was gone doing senior photos, and her and Jerry worked on putting up the tile and stuff, and they got it all put up. It just needed to be grouted, and so that meant that they came back yesterday, and we got to see our son because he came, and they got it all done. And so today he needs to caulk both sides because he was waiting to get the one side done so he could do them both. So everything that's been on that counter by the sink now is over on the other side, and it's just, trying to make bread this morning, and I just had the small counter where the mixer stand is and stuff like that. But he had a little bit of trouble with it. It's a special type of caulk made for backsplash, basically. So, and he's done caulk a lot. So he looked it up, and they gave a couple of tips on how to use it and stuff. So that meant he had to run into town and pick up some of the things. So he did that. And so what I did this morning is he was in the kitchen doing that, and I was waiting for the bread to rise because bread doesn't take, I've done it for over a year, so I don't even need to pull the recipe out. I know what it takes. And so it always, once it's mixed up and it's in the bowl covered, it usually rises about 90 minutes. So I went out to the dining room table. We have the kitchen. It's an open concept, I guess. And so I was sitting at the dining room table, and I started that diamond paint. I started it Saturday. So I was working on that while he was out there, and listening to all his frustrations. He was trying so hard. He just was trying so hard. So but then I went and got a shower in, and then I decided I was going to work on this table runner. And I started recording to do a come sew along with me, and of cutting the fabric and then sewing the strips in. And now there was an issue, so I stopped the recording and everything. But I still might record, you know, me sewing it and different things like that. But it won't be in this video because it'll be too long, and it'll probably be a Saturday thing. So anyways, the colors that I had that you all graciously helped me with, and I appreciate that. So I went with the blue, and I went to use the black. And you know, I just pull out things and I'm like, yep, this looks long enough. The black wasn't long enough. And I don't have any black that is long enough. So then I thought, well, no problem, because I had that yellow. So I decided I was going to do this maroon. And if you hear any noises, you'll hear Mr. Jerry in the kitchen. I got my door closed. And then this color here. And then I think it was the blue. How do I got it? Yep, blue, green, orange, and this color here. So this was 3, 6, and I thought, okay, since I can't use the black, I'll use this yellow on here, and this should work. So, and I was cutting the strips. I recorded me cutting the strips because I only need one of each color. And this is where my brain doesn't work as well, is because I'm trying to make it so I'm cutting it so I get that 42-inch width, because that's what you need, because there's so many pieces that she's told you to cut out of this runner, and you'll only have a smidge left. So I'm going through it all, and you know, if I put the vlog up, the video up on a Saturday, you'll see it's me struggling. And I got them all cut. And I cut this one, and I questioned it because it wasn't quite long enough. I didn't think so. So I started sewing, and lo and behold, it was like 4 inches too short. So I got out my trusty friend here, the seam ripper. Mr. Jerry made this for me several years ago. He does woodworking too. And there is a larger seam ripper right there that I never use. And then this is the one right here that I use all the time. And it just slides in just like that. So I had to rip that yellow all out, which meant I had to find something. And I am laying everything out, what can go with it, what can go with it. I did find a strip that was long, and it was in gold. And so I put it with the maroon side of it. And I asked Jerry, what does he think? Because I was going to go with a different green, and I was going to maybe try a pink and stuff like that. But so I went with the gold, and I got them all sewed together, and I went and measured, and it is going to be just a smidge over 42 inches. So I'm hoping, because I need to cut out of the whole thing once I sew it. It's all sewed together, and I kind of pressed it. I need to spray it to get some of the wrinkles out. but out of the strip, which is 42 inches long, I need 4 2.5-inch strips, 8 2-inch strips, 8 1.5, and 3 1-inch strips. And when she did her video on it, she did only have about this much left. So mine's gonna be pretty darn close. And it is called the Halloween Bargello Table Runner by Sherry Woolsworth from Cuts and Bolts on Facebook. And so it's a free pattern on there. So, but this is what it looks like right now. If I can, it's gonna look like this. So you have that light orange, and then the orange, the green, the blue, purple, maroon, and that gold. So once you press it, you're supposed to then put right sides together and you sew it into a tube. A long, long tube. So now it's half the size once it's sewn together. And you sew down this long strip right here. And then once you do that, you turn it right side out. So then the tube is going to look like this. But this will be tucked in so that you will see part of that gold on this side. And then that's where you have to start cutting your strips. And how she has you do this is, it's how I did the trip around the world. So it's right where you, and it's going to be dark in here because the light's coming on and off, and I just don't know. We're going to let it be. We're going to let it be. Face it more towards the window. So it just, when you cut the strip, you cut all your strips and you lay them the way that she said to do it, you know, the 2.5 to 1.5 and 1. And then you have to repeat once you cut them like that. Then it goes back to 1.5 and then 2 and 2.5. Because that Bargello is going to go up and down like this with the colors. So, and it's in a tube, so it's in a circle. So you have to pick out which color you're going to start with, and you're going to have to unpick that seam, and then you open it up. And whatever color, let's say I started with, let's just say the gold. So let's say the next color under that is the maroon. I have to unpick that maroon color so that it will do that cascading or that sideways look. So I think I'm just going to record when I do all that. And once you do all that, then you just line them up the way that they're supposed to be sewn. She's got the diagram. You have to do 3 squares of, you know, 2.5, 2, 1.5, 1, and then 1.5, 2, and then 2.5, and you sew those together, and you have to do 3 of them. And take that back. I'm looking at the 1, you do that way. Unit 2, you do 2 inch, 2 inch, 1.5, 1, 1.5, 2, 2. And then unit 3 is 2.5, 2, 1.5, 1.5, 1, 1.5, 1.5, 2, 2.5. And then you sew them all together in order. So the very first one that you did, then the second, and then the third, and then you add your borders around it so that it will end up like this. But I think it probably doesn't matter which way, but so it will end up kind of like that. And she said people are already hinting that she should do a mystery one. She always does a mystery quilt along, like for Super Bowl Sunday and stuff like that. And they're already saying something about doing one like this. Y'all, that takes time. When I did that trip around the world, sewing all the strips together is nothing. And then cutting them into strips is nothing. It's just, then you're sitting there and you're, you know, once you cut them and you got to unpick them to make them so that they are going in the right way, then you got to sew that all together. And she tries to do it so that it, quilt top can be done within a day. So, yeah. But, so I was working on that. And I'll probably, I don't know, I don't know what I'm going to do. Anyways, I will try to finish recording, and I will give you a heads up when it's going to be up and everything. But our weekend went very well. When the kids and everybody came down to do the tile and stuff, and everything was done yesterday, and so now it's just up to him to finish the rest of it. But yeah, it's just, it was a lot. It was a lot this weekend. And the grandkids started school today, and they're getting to be too old. Layla is going to be 10 September 4th, and and Riker on October 29th will be 13. And he'll be in, well, he is in 7th grade and she's in 5th grade. And then Landon will be 18 September 1st and he's a senior, so they grow up way too fast, don't they? So, other than that, yeah, I don't know. I've been really enjoying the diamond dot, and I got the mosaic blanket. I got the front all done. I got border 1 all done on the front. Now I have to do the same border on the back side. And because then I'll give you 2 borders that are like flaps, and then you just single crochet them together, and all the ends that you had cut at the end, because mosaic overlay, you just work from left to right, and then you cut off the ends. And so and you have ends on both of them, so you just sit there and you just tie a knot into several of them at once, get it within an inch, and then just, you know, clip it. And once those flaps are done, it will encase the side yarn and everything, and it just goes all the way around like that. So I mean, it is a very clever way of doing it. It's just time consuming, and I have used up all the colors except for the back side. I'll still have some red left, probably not a lot once I go around it once. The dark blue will be the border, and then all I have left is that off-white, and I'm hoping there's enough. And if there's not, then I'm going to have to find in my stash because I don't have any of the brown left, and the blue is gone, the lighter blue. So that's a good feeling. But other than that, I got my Stitches of Love order in the mail. I haven't even opened it up. I thought I would take another day, and I wouldn't even open it up until I open it up with you, so I can see it with you. And then I got my card maker thing in the mail for this month, so I printed that up. And one of these times I'm just going to sit down and I'm just going to pull them out, and I'm just going to make the card. And but yeah, So other than that, I don't think there's too much more to chit-chat about. I just have to decide what I'm going to do here. If I'm going to sew or if I'm going to go out and diamond dot. I don't know. The diamond dot's hard on your back. I do remember that because if I go out there, I take my sewing chair out there and set and diamond dot, but we'll see. We'll see what I do. But thanks again, my friends. Yeah, I just don't know what I was going to say, except for thanks. Thanks for always stopping by. And not too much planned this week, except for Wednesday. I have a teeth cleaning, and then I think we're going to go up to Grand Rapids for him to look at a tool that he wants to possibly buy, but it's a long ways up there. I'm not looking forward to it. Because it's a long way and it's like right downtown and the traffic is always horrendous and they've got a lot of detours and yeah. But he's got to go up there anyways and get some more caulk, so yeah. So anyways, thanks again, my friends, and till we can meet up again. See you soon.